Why the fuck is it not okay, yeah, we're recording. Welcome back to another episode of Sports for Dummies, the greatest sports podcast on the planet. Thank you for moving the cup whilst introducing that one, John. My name is Josh, joined by fellow dummy John. How are you doing? Far out. There's always one, isn't there?
Joshy, how are you? You nice and refreshed?
Fantastic.
That's what we should have started with.
No, you know what we should have
Just
started
too
with?
late.
Something like that. The Christmas music.
Fuck Christmas.
We are how many days out now? 5 days from Christmas. I'm sure everyone's probably got their Christmas presents.
It was
and everything
organised by the Matrix for people to spend money.
Actually was.
It really is. Jesus
100%.
weren't born on no fucking 26th of December.
26.
25th. It doesn't matter. He was not born on that day.
Holy shit. That went from 0 to 100. Didn't realise we were a controversial political
It's a
campaigning.
scam. It's a scam. It's a psyop.
Oh, shit. So we've had a lot go on in sport over the last few days, haven't we, Johnny?
It's been good. It's
Yeah.
been good. It's been really good. I mean, you've got the Clippers in great form. The Bucks have equaled.
Can we just elaborate on that one? So we all know one thing. There has been a Fat Harden who has been there.
Mm-hmm.
He has been playing quite well now.
Sure.
We have to agree.
No.
He came out in the last game
Hit 35.
against the Pacers, 21 in the last quarter.
Hit 4 threes in a row.
He did pretty well.
So I am going to talk to. Okay, we all know my love for Fat Harden.
Love him.
Sure.
Why don't you like him?
Because he's melted down in every playoffs that he's had, and he's forced his way and thrown tantrums in his last 3 clubs. He's a club killer. So what I will say to this,
But look at what he's doing at the Clippers now.
he's been 10 times better at everywhere else. So what?
Yes, but he's progressively getting
So
better.
what I'm going to say is, Fat Harden is now back to regular Harden. Regular Harden still loses in the playoffs. So everyone's getting to, oh, he's back. Okay, back playing regular season. Come playoffs, we'll get to see the real Harden again.
I don't agree. I think we've got a lot of depth. I think we've got good depth now.
On what basis can you go that James Harden will play well in the playoffs? Because he's never been good.
I'm not saying he's been great. He doesn't have a good history. I'm not denying that.
Not one.
I'm not denying that. I'm saying with the amount of depth that the Clippers have, we've got 4 superstars on that team. One would assume these guys, you've got Kawhi, who's played 2 finals MVP.
Mm-hmm. So he's the one, if they're to win, it's him.
How's he been playing?
His last 10 games, he's averaging 59% scoring. I like Kawhi Leonard.
Yes.
Can he stay healthy? Can Paul George stay healthy?
Probably not.
Exactly. And against the better sides, can they beat Joker? Are they better than OKC at the moment? Are they better than the Timberwolves?
Okay, I think at the moment, how they're playing right now, I think
actual teams.
Who
Who
are they
beaten?
the Pacers,
They haven't fucking won since the in-season tournament.
and that's my point.
What a side.
No, we won against, who did we play? We've got the Mavs tomorrow, and I think that'll
You've
be a
beat-
good
you
game.
versed
You know
the
what?
Warriors.
It'll be a good test. No, just let me finish.
You should beat the Mavs.
But based on what?
They have one player.
Luca?
Yeah,
Yeah, we have 4.
exactly. You should win.
We will win.
You should.
We will.
If you can't beat them,
What now? Are you going to say that we suck?
you're full of shit.
Full of shit.
No, in all
You've heard it
seriousness,
first.
Fat Harden is now regular Harden, back to regular Harden, but that has nothing to do with performing in the playoffs.
You just don't like James Harden.
He's thrown a tantrum at 3 clubs in the last 3 years
So
and forced his way out. Players like that don't win.
You heard it here. I hope you eat your
I will
words.
say it every
I hope
day.
you eat it.
Even in...
I have been waiting for the Clippers to actually have a team worthy of an actual championship and a finals run. We actually, at the start of the year, had no hope. No hope. You know who did it? Russ. Took the back step, took the back seat. And I'll tell you why. He's the second most, his net worth is like $375 million, just the second in the entirety of the NBA.
He's only getting paid a couple of mil to play basketball.
Yeah, he doesn't clearly he doesn't need the money from the basketball. I think he's wanting to win a championship, and this is.
I agree. The best move that he's taken a back seat. They do. I mean, Paul George is playing well. Kawhi Leonard's awesome. He's the one. He's at his best. Is the best two-way player. Harden is a phenomenal regular season player, and Russ gives that energy off the bench.
He's playing well. He's stirring up the pot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that in the last quarter with James Harden, just literally stirring up the pot. So it was actually...
Do it in the playoffs.
No, and I hope he does. You know what? I do agree. It is one of the things that the Clippers have always done. It's like the Essendon Football Club, if you follow the AFL over the last few
At least
years.
they've won premierships. The Clippers never made it to a conference.
Premiership.
Premierships. Fucking the Clippers have never made a conference final.
I agree. They have not had any. They had the big three: DeAndre, Blake Griffin, CP3. They probably had the caliber to get there, but they had a lot of good competition. That was the era where Warriors were unstoppable, and you had the Lakers were pretty good with Kobe. It was a time where it was very hard for the Clippers to try and come out with two big centers, basically, and one good guy just throwing up dimes from half court, and you just had this guy who could just dunk. So you had who was the other guy? You had that 3-point guy. What was his name? I forget. It slipped me. But anyway, guys, we're going to jump in. Look, I think personally,
it's good to see him on a winning streak.
What is it over the last 10? 9-1 now.
9-1.
It's fucking fabulous.
I want to see him play some competition.
Fair call. Oh, for some reason, I'm just going to have a look at this. Just bear with me. We love that when the screen goes down. Can't bring it up.
He didn't charge his phone. He didn't charge his laptop.
Charge my laptop? No, I definitely did. Got anything to say to the viewers, Johnny? Or are you just going to leave them?
I'm just pondering today's events.
Where the fuck? Oh,
well, while we wait, the Bucks have been playing. So they're equal.
What do you mean
first.
you're pondering today's events?
Well, it's been a lot happened today in the sport of basketball. The Bucks got up. Dame Lillard had a 40-piece. Giannis only had 14 points. That's really promising. What was interesting, Joker had in honor of Draymond Green, had a triple single the other day.
What's a triple single?
Single digits. He normally
does.
The king of the triple double. Had a triple single.
Isn't that just basically like everyone else's game?
Yeah,
triple single. Like,
and they won by 15. Still,
see, he really had to.
But he's one of those players, very much like Larry Bird, very much like Magic Johnson, where they could only score 10 or 11 and still impact. The game.
No, I completely get you. There was another thing that did happen.
What's that?
Steph's NBA record 3-point streak ended.
And what did he do today?
I don't know, you tell me.
So the Celtics and the Warriors played. So at the start of that game, halfway through, I thought the Warriors are done. They were done. Like I had them like the dynasty is over. I still kind of think it's over. I still think it sort of is.
It is over. I don't think they're coming back, and I made the call that they were there.
But what Curry and Klay Thompson 6 threes each, and they won. It's a big performance against a very good side.
You know what's funny? Didn't you say that Klay turned down a $25 million 2-year? He's not going to get that same offer.
I don't think he will.
Like, he's going to be... What did Harley say in the previous one that we did? He'll be the...
He said
James Harden. Did he say James Harden? But how much is Harden on at the Clippers?
Much more.
I was going to say.
A bit more. And different players. James Harden's a better player than Klay Thompson ever was. But Klay Thompson is very much like a second or third player. He's old. Where's he gonna go? I mean, he's actually been playing okay.
Yeah.
You know, he's at a couple of 30 points. But they were phenomenal. It's a very big win against the Boston Celtics, who are now the Bucks are now even with them on wins. Still 2 games behind them because of games played, but they're equal on points. So the Bucks are coming.
Well, Johnny, that's your team, so obviously you're going to be so bloody biased on him anyway.
Damian Lillard is a star and a defensive weapon.
Defensive? In what way?
He scores 40 points, so everyone has to watch out.
Just don't let him get ahead.
Just
and
let
get
it.
the-
Just
don't let him get the
if he
ball.
scores 40 every night, I'm happy.
Yeah. No, that's understandable. All right, guys. So today we had the Pelicans and the Grizzlies.
Oh, this was huge. So Ja Morant's first game back.
Ja Morant? Ja Morant?
Ja Morant.
Ja Morant.
So 25 games off.
What did he do?
So he got caught
Wasn't there
with a
something to do
gun
with-
on Instagram.
I was about to say drugs, but
So
that's
nothing
wrong.
illegal, but against what the NBA are trying to promote. And then the dumbass did it again. So suspended for 25 games. That's why the Grizzlies are 6-19, and Steve Adams, also their second best player, ain't playing. That's why the poor start. So they've come against the Pelicans, who are good on their day.
Yeah.
He drops 34, 8, and 6, and then he hits the game winner. It was absolutely huge.
Can we
It was
just-
absolutely? And I was rooting for him. Show the
We'll
clip.
play the game. We'll play the game winner clip. We can bring
Play
that
the-
up, and then everyone can have a view of that, and then we can go into what he says post game, which is quite funny in my opinion. All right, guys, here we go.
Get ahead of steam with a chance to win it in his return. Here goes Morant. He spins. Morant scores.
Pretty good.
And the timer
It was massive.
expires.
Pretty damn good.
It was pretty, and all the pressure on him to come back. Has a massive game, realizes the moment, and then takes it to the basket. It was huge. Good on him.
Great return.
Yes, great return. It's a great comeback story.
Considering everything. Now let's play his straight off the cuff not post game interview where they've got them in the just like we are sitting and talking to a camera with all the old journalists and everything. This is straight with the what do you call them?
This is the reporter.
Reporter. That's the one I'm looking for. This is what he straight away said.
Thank you so much, BA. Yes, welcome back to the NBA. You were a little winded down the stretch. That's to be expected. How did you cope with that?
I'm a dog. I put work in day out. And
I'm a dog.
All right.
I'm a dog.
All right. Listen to him.
Look, to be fair,
Listen to him, everyone. Ja Morant. He just hit the game winner. Great comeback game. Everyone loves a comeback story. Shut the fuck up. I'm a dog. You just went from everyone loving you to hating you again. Just your arrogance. Mate, you haven't achieved anything in the playoffs. You've set your team back like 19 games. You're in the bottom 4. I'm a dog. Pull your head in.
you heard it here first. That was look. To be fair,
That needs to be clipped.
I thought, look, great
Eli,
game
if you're
winner.
watching, that needs to be.
Yeah, there's a video there for the TikTok viewers. Might I add, while I plug everyone who's on YouTube, jump over to our TikTok. We've got some short form content. It's probably a bit easier to absorb. I say easier. I don't really understand what that means because if you like long form content,
It's just different.
it hits different. 10 seconds of the finest content in the world. Eli's
Eli's doing a good job.
but he's doing a great job. So, yeah, look, I mean, I get the emphasis, and I mean, it makes a lot of sense given his reputation and why he got the suspension to then come in and go, look, great game, maybe not throwing out, I'm a dog.
Just
didn't see the
be
point.
humble.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Play this year, because
But that's why he got suspended.
going into that game,
You can tell.
I was actually, because I thought he was an idiot, but it was like, love a comeback story. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
And then he does that, and it's just like, now I don't want to support you.
And it's more than fair enough.
Just check it. Just be humble.
It was good to see them get up though. They've been
Yes.
doing horribly.
Before that, it
lately.
was
They've been doing shit house.
there's some light, and hopefully you can bring them back into play-in contention.
Hopefully. You know, Grizzlies, and I feel like Grizzlies and Clippers have always had that bit of a fucking rivalry because we always get into the play-ins and then they beat us. Anyway, we're going to jump into the next one, which we did briefly touch on. The Bucks and the Spurs.
Got the Bucks. So no Wemby. No Wemby today, so it was an easy win. Giannis only had 14 points, but Lillard with 40 points, and this is the thing, for even though I'm still very skeptical on this on my Bucks, because I like this.
What do you mean skeptical? As in, like, they're not consistent enough?
Can they win the championship? And the reason is they obviously have the team to do it. But even last year, just at times they're as good as any. But I just feel like against some of the better teams, they can be, sort of found out. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Because last year didn't have Middleton for too much. So we've got Middleton and Lillard. Defensively, obviously, we've taken a back foot stamp, but Brook Lopez is, dominating on the blocks. There's just something still missing yet. I'd like to see them come up against a full strength Celtics side.
Do you reckon Giannis has lost that? That edge that he had when you guys won it?
No, because he's still awesome.
I'm not disagreeing. The guy's had 250 plus games.
He's still been awesome. It's more of a team thing.
Okay, like
I just can't put my. But they had it last year as well, so it'll be interesting to see. But considering all that, they're equal first on wins. It's a pretty good position to be. Like they're gonna finish top 2.
They will, and I think that it'll be between them and the Celtics.
But then you just never write off the Heat.
No, the Heat will be there.
So Bucks finished first last year. Heat finished 8th, and Heat beat them. Heat were a playing team.
But it doesn't surprise me. The Heat just always pull something out of their ass.
No.
Like they're tin ass. They don't play that hard. They go, you know what? We'll get some games into us in the play-ins and playoffs.
Butler just scored 15 points. Like he just doesn't. Yeah.
Isn't he Michael Jordan's son?
There's a big rumor on it.
No, but then you have, on the other hand, doesn't he have Kawhi Leonard has the same size hands as Jordan?
The claw.
The claw. Well, he's playing like the claw. It's good to see.
And that's when Phil Jackson coached Kobe and MJ, and who are the same position, very similar players, both fantastic scorers and defenders. They asked him what was the difference, like who was better, and he's like, MJ just had bigger hands. Literally was the difference, which means he could control the ball better, with his pump
the way that he would
whatnot.
hold, he'd just pretend to throw it.
It's a little bit of a changer.
100%. If you had hands like that, you bloody, there's a lot you do.
They're big.
Then we had, so I'm going to read out, did I read out the scores for the Bucks and the Spurs?
No.
No, but everyone
it's
can
140 to
132. I actually didn't even read over the Grizzlies and the Pelicans. I put it up on the screen.
It was a buzzer beater, so it's fine.
It was a buzzer beater. They won. Bucks got up 132 to the Spurs 119. Then the Trailblazers and the Suns. Suns are really I'll get on to the score before I jump onto that. 109 to 104. The Trailblazers getting up.
Who played
that game?
Let's
look this up.
So I think Bradley Beal's injured already.
Why is that not a surprise? It's harsh. Beal didn't play. You had Durant, you had Booker.
They all played. So they played.
Durant had 40.
They lost to the Blazers. I said it before. This is the Brooklyn Nets repackaged.
It really is.
It's just ridiculous.
Why do you reckon Why do you reckon teams like this can't get it together?
Because super team thing is another reason why I think the Clippers will fail.
Thanks.
It's been proven that it doesn't work anymore. The super teams. So just throwing teams together, you lose a bit of your depth because you have to spend money and whatnot. And because you have all these superstars on the side, they all need the ball. They all need to gel, and they're used to being the number one option. Just throwing them together doesn't necessarily work. It's got to be an organic. So it's different for when the Warriors were the super team because they were already a championship side, and then they added Kevin Durant, who doesn't need the ball. But you've got
they had Iguodala. They had Green, Thompson, Curry.
So that was your natural. And then natural four. That was your natural, and then you throw KD in there, who's it doesn't need the ball.
Yeah.
He's just an assassin. And
What do you mean by he doesn't need the ball?
He doesn't need he doesn't need to be ball dominant. He doesn't control the ball like Luka Doncic or LeBron James. He's just an assassin. You get him the ball, he shoots.
Yeah.
But the super teams, I mean, let's go through it because so you had Brooklyn, which was KD, Kyrie, James Harden, flop because they had bad attitudes and just didn't gel. The Lakers, when they had LeBron, Anthony, Westbrook, AD, flop, didn't work, no synergy, game plan was horrible.
I couldn't believe that they didn't win with that squad.
I said they'd be lucky to make the playoffs.
Well, you're right.
It was very obvious because Westbrook's going to be was your starting ball dominant player, point guard, when LeBron should be, and Westbrook can't play with off the ball.
Yeah,
like it just didn't make sense. So when everyone's like, yeah, and they're old.
Well, that's back to the Clippers. That is sort of the same thing, and that's why one of them had to take a step back. You don't need Leonard to be ball dominant, George to be.
They don't need
George
to be ball
is the
dominant.
same as
Harden needs the ball.
Yeah, Harden has to have the ball, and you saw anyone who watched the last game. He had 21 points in the last quarter. You saw him just dance with the ball, and Russ. The synergy between that team at the end of that game, I actually felt like they came together.
Yeah,
they're on to something.
Sure,
they got to keep the formula going. And they can't fucking let what Johnny keeps talking about, James Harden flopping and not performing when it matters. I think that's what's going to make a difference with the Clippers this year if they can actually back it up. But like you said, I think the Suns, they don't have it together. They keep losing, and even when you get a good three,
you got two elite scorers. So you know who's your playmaker.
Well, Bradley Beal's never. Well, he's not.
No,
Could you imagine having like a CP3 in that squad though?
But they did last year.
Oh yeah, they did too.
They did. It's just they don't have a real good playmaker. Defensively, they're very suspect. I don't think they.
How the did that not work?
And who's their leader? They say it's KD's side, but he's not a great leader. Booker's not a great leader.
No, they don't really have a leader.
Beal doesn't play.
Well, that's like who's the leader of the Clippers at the minute?
You'd probably say it's Kawhi.
Almost think
culturally, it's probably Westbrook.
Yeah. Russell Westbrook. Oh, I nailed it. I got it. Yeah.
Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook. All right. Then we had, which was an upset, the last game. So there's only 4 today. Warriors Celtics 132 to 126. Warriors getting the W.
What?
No one would have seen that coming after Steph couldn't even hit 1-3 and only hit 7 points yesterday.
And they were looking very ordinary at the start. I looked at the scores. I think there was 10 points, and I'm just like, could be. I know we've said it's the end of the dynasty, but it was like this is like the final nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
What a performance! Steph and Clay 6 threes each. It is a special performance. They were shooting the lights off. Some of the shots they were making. It was a big win. Do I think it changes anything? Probably not, but it could be the win that for a championship team that the Warriors are. Who knows?
Gets them up and about.
It's always good for basketball when the Warriors are up and about because they are good to watch.
Well, it's great to watch when you have those two. You have the Splash Brothers, coming out and having some fun. Yeah,
it was like a homage to the old days,
the OG, the OG days. It was good to see after Steph.
Yeah,
I mean, he had the historic streak for 3 points, I think 284, and he just had an off day. And
probably should have, with a player like him and the mentality, probably should have expected it. I remember,
very true.
When MJ was at the Wizards, twilight of his career, he had 6 points.
Highlight of his
he had 6 points, and he was benched. And little did the coach know it was the first time in 865 games that he didn't score double digits. So MJ asked Doug Collins, do you think I can still play? And he's like, yeah, of course. We were down by 30. Anyway, MJ scored 51 the next night. So it's sort of very similar. Curry doesn't, hit a 3 and then comes out and hits 6, sort of showing, hey, I'm still that guy.
Yeah, I mean, like what we said, when you believe it, best shooter of all time.
He's definitely the best shooter in the regular season. Question marks, is he the most? Because you got to take into finals and clutch moments.
Who do you reckon's better?
Larry Bird was a dog.
Yeah.
Just in clutch moments.
I love how you use that word. He's a dog. After not
the
saying.
white dog. MJ in clutch moments. But as an overall, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but,
MJ
Steph's percentage from the free throw line is crazy. From 3
Still up
points,
there.
he's still the best. He's clearly the best at 3.
3-pointer.
So, yeah, I mean, he is the greatest shooter.
Yeah. No, well, that. Let me have another look. I had one more video. First things first, though. Did want to touch on one thing.
Sure.
Now, obviously, we mentioned Jake Paul got up with a nice knockout, infamous against that Andre August.
Andre August, yep.
Which is actually getting a lot of heat in the media, and surprisingly, I think they had Eddie Hearn had an interview on what he thought about the Jake Paul and the Andre August fight, and he said, he should be fighting people closer to a title. And you're like, hold up.
For his rep, but let's look at it in actual boxing terms.
How you would step up.
His first 2 boxes, like he wouldn't be even close to a title. He only deserves a title shot because of the audience he would bring.
But it doesn't
And
warrant
is that fair for him that he has to verse a title fight?
Arguably, is it fair?
Would he
for
be
the
ready
people
yet?
who are the
Correct.
wanting to step up in that spot? He's
Correct.
actually doing it the hard way. When the guy, like we talk about, has all the money, has all the status, has all the audience,
he doesn't have to fight.
This is what annoys me.
And he's got better in his competition. He's gone from, really, average MMA fighters to striker MMA fighters, actually versed a boxer in Tommy Fury. He lost and then he's won today. Like he's slowly going up.
Yeah. No.
Let him go through it naturally.
Now he called out, I think, on his podcast. I think he jumped on a few. Obviously, this seems to be the new norm when you win a boxing match or you do something or you run for a presidential candidacy. I did see that Trump's been taken out of that one for next year, which is huge. We're not going to go into that.
Make America great.
But everyone jumps onto a podcast after they do something very, very good. We just do it every day because we're, trying. But I did see that they called out Logan and Jake Paul called out the Tate brothers. They're your boys.
In a weird MMA double.
Why would you call out the Tate brothers in MMA?
Okay, so
But they're
there's
kickboxers.
beef. So there's beef there.
Yes.
So Andrew Tate called out Jake Paul when Jake Paul was starting, saying he can't fight anyone. Like I kick the shit out of you. There's actually a respect there.
100%.
I don't know how the rules work with having 2 people. Jake and Logan seem to think they would win easily.
Wait, is it 2-on-2?
Yeah, but I don't know how that works.
No, I've never seen a 2-on-2. I thought
There
it was
is
like how
something-
they did, like one after the other, like you do.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's what I would think. But who would take who?
Well, out of all of them, Andrew's the only one who's fought an MMA fight. So his first fight was an MMA fight, which he won. Horrible ground game.
Do you reckon it would be Jake and Andrew? Or do you reckon because Logan's that big boy?
Logan would have to fight Tristan.
But yeah, Tristan's bigger. Is he bigger than
How
Andrew?
tall is Logan?
I think he's close to like 6'3". This is a guess.
Okay, so
this is off the cuff.
Tristan's 6'4".
Okay, so that would be,
It
so
would be
Andrew, Jake.
So in terms of MMA, I don't know, like, because obviously boxing, you'd have to give it to Jake, even though Andrew's really good. Kickboxing, Andrew wins, not trying.
But MMA is a very
it's a different sport. Do
completely.
any of them have ground game? I don't know if you'd want to watch. I don't know if you'd want to watch.
Wait,
that.
hold up. Logan did throughout his, I think when
he's a wrestler.
He's a wrestler. So I think, and I mean, he is a wrestler for the WWE. I have no doubt that you'd have to learn some form of wrestling
Very
and actually
different.
know.
Hang on,
But it's
very
very
different,
different. It's
very
not actually,
different.
it's fake fighting.
Very, very different.
I'm not saying that he wouldn't have learnt the attributes to be a successful MMA on the ground sort of wrestler based on his past. So it'd be interesting to see how that all...
It would be, I'd watch it.
Who's winning? I know you're big on
I
that.
gotta go to Tate's.
So I think it would be half and half. I think that if it was a MMA, and it was Andrew and Jake, and then Logan and Tristan.
I'd say Andrew would beat Jake.
Yeah, but I
he's
reckon
got more weapons and feet. Like he's better with his legs. And
true. It actually to be honest, I don't see Logan beating Tristan.
Tristan's got a better shoulder, so that would be interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe then.
But
that'd be the half and
Logan's
half.
pretty. Yeah,
Logan's a big boy.
he's a big boy, but so is Tristan.
Oh, they're both big.
They're all
They're
big.
fucking big.
They're not. None of one's small in that group.
They need to make it happen. That'd be awesome.
That would break the internet.
We're going to go on to what's his name again? Is it? How do you pronounce it?
Paddy Pimblett.
Pimblett?
Pimblett. How would he say it?
I just call him Paddy the Baddie.
Paddy the
that's what he
Baddie.
goes as, I
Yeah.
thought. We're going to cut in this little scene, which is hilarious. Anyone who knows David Goggins, this guy, there's memes of him where they
He's an
say,
animal.
where they say basically if they got to Mars, all the billionaires got to Mars, Elon opens the door, you'd have David Goggins running just with his shirt off.
I just ran 35,000 miles. Stay hard.
Literally. It's the guy who says, who's going to carry the boats?
Who's going to get? So he was a fat dude who became a Navy SEAL, and he runs
crazy.
ultra marathons. He's pretty much fucked his legs completely.
Didn't they
just
say he had
broken
no
cartilage or something? And he still run. It's just all mind over matter. He's very mentally strong, inspiring dude.
Yeah, very much so. More.
But this is what Paddy the Baddie had to say about David Goggins, who was in the corner for Tony Ferguson in their fight that just happened.
That's actually hilarious.
Got David Goggins in his corner though. David Goggins ain't got shit on me. Know what I mean? When I finish Tony, I'll go over to David and say, "Who's gonna carry the boat, son? Who's gonna carry them? Because it's not fucking him, is it?"
Oh, it's gold. Just with his accent.
Well, he was good. When he first came out, there was talks of him with the attitude that he had, that he was a bit like McGregor, but he hasn't lived up.
So
Very
with my
different.
limited knowledge, like he's a crowd pleaser, people liked him.
Yeah.
What happened was he fought someone again. You can correct me. He fought someone. Went to decision and he got given the decision, but everyone thought he lost. He said he won. Everyone sort of went against him. He's fought Tony Ferguson, who used to be a beast.
Yeah.
He's lost his last 7. He's old. He did training with David Goggins, and David Goggins said he kept up with him. So the guy's clearly got mental strength. He's just a bit too old now.
Well, and Tony lost, so
Yeah,
he did
exactly.
win. So it was quite. I wonder if he did do that.
What?
If he looked at David Goggins and said, "Who's going to carry the boat?" I didn't see
They
anything
drowned.
surface.
They drowned. They drowned.
Holy shit! Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on today, Johnny?
Well, we've got so we had our first guest, and that was with Harley and with the Michael Jordan LeBron James debate, and thank you for everyone who's viewed, because we've got our most views and it's still going.
Thank you so much for that, guys. By the way, that's huge. Huge for us.
So we've actually got a guest tomorrow, which is your dad.
Yes.
So Juan's my older brother. So we're just going to talk to him, his life with sport, what sports he likes to, watch, what he's passionate about, and then we'll see if we can get a couple of arguments in there.
Well, I think there's a few arguments. I mean, we don't all go for the same AFL team.
So
AFL
we'll be talking very much, but I'm excited to bring football back into it.
Yeah. Football, AFL. For anyone who's international and watching this, we're talking about our football in Australia.
So it'll be one, he's a good talker, so it'll be
I think it'll be a long one.
this will be a long one, but yeah, it'll be very enjoyable.
No, it's going to be good fun. But for those who don't know, fun fact, Johnny and he's my uncle and I'm your nephew.
The fact that at least
I've lost it today.
he didn't say niece.
Oh, jeez. There's always one. Anyway, no, that is a fun fact. I don't know what people, it's funny. My dad and I get brothers.
So
I work with my dad for those.
I've had that with your dad too. I've had people say, "How's your dad?" Like
Yeah,
they
right.
just would say, "Oh, I just saw your dad." Like, well, he can't. Like, you couldn't have seen him. He's dead.
Jeez, that went.
But I'm referring to one.
Yes.
So I've got that too.
Yeah.
It's when so this is when I was very heavy. So this was, I think it was at the start of the year. We had a property in Sandhurst. And it backed onto the golf course. And I didn't know, the buyer hadn't rocked up. And I saw someone like off the back in coming past. And I thought it was the buyer, like thinking that was how to get in.
Yeah.
So I went outside to like speak to him. And like, they didn't say I looked like your dad. They were like, Juan, how are you? I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay.
So they literally thought.
Thought. I'm like,
So
okay.
so how old's? What's the age gap between you two?
17 years.
Yes, that's a whole generation.
So yeah, so fucking, I was definitely beefy.
Yeah, well, you're cutting up every day, every podcast. Johnny's come on, and I reckon he's lost another 2 kilos. What are you doing? What are you taking? Tell the viewers. You popping something?
Not popping anything.
Just
Just gym every day, a cardio session, a weight session.
One of those people now,
And
gym
then
all day, every day.
I've become everything that I hate. Like, I don't like the people. I don't like the lifestyle. I fucking
to the
hate
gym.
I don't like anything to do with it. And then eating well and not drinking,
Yeah, well,
which has been the biggest one. I think I drank every day for a good 5 years of my life. Pretty straight.
pretty good.
So just living that gym life, which sucks.
Well, we're coming up to Chrissy. It's going to be a good time of year. I think there'll be a few gin and tonics. We've got a planning session ahead for this podcast.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure we're bringing all of you guys out there a really, really good show. We want to make this a very good one. I think we're trying to formulate the game plan on how this show really looks.
Yeah, how we're going to go into 2024. We've thrown a lot at the mud. We've obviously done a lot of changes. So
Throwing a lot at the mud at the wall.
we've thrown a lot of mud at the
I've
wall.
never heard that one. That's a good
Thrown
one.
a
Thrown
lot
a lot of mud.
We've thrown a lot at the. What did you throw at the mud? So we just we've tried a lot of different things. I think now we've got the setup now in
The
terms
setup
of
is
the
sick. Can we just say that?
It does look good. We've got all the equipment, so now it's just fine tuning.
Playing basketball.
Yes, fine tuning what the show is actually going to be like a bit more consistently.
No, it's very good. One thing Johnny really loves is exactly there's 2 things. Anyone who's in the comments, say, John, how are you doing if you've watched this far? Because he loves when people ask him that question.
Just no one cares. I
want to know who's watching it right now.
How I'm doing. Like, fuck off. Let's just do the podcast.
Johnny, before you do that, mate, I need to put the censor shit. This is why we have this fancy setup. I'm not quick enough, though. Anyway, how do we want to outro this one? What's the... actually, you know what? Christmas music, I think, is probably the way that we want to do it. We'll just end it on this, guys. If you are still watching, thank you so very much. We are going to do one tomorrow, which is going to be a nice long one. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell so that you guys are receiving all of our podcasts. We are going to be doing this on Spotify, most likely probably in the new year. Would you say?
We will be.
Definitely. And jump on our TikTok. I think it's at S4D. So if you jump on, follow us, and subscribe for better content. Thank you so
later,
much,
guys.
See ya. That was good.